And right now we're getting ready to have a six-pack challenge match with Potsy and Tino on the big podcast show. Holla at a player.
Hey, great. What's up with that? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pens Network proudly brings to you its Tag Team Champions of the World! The Road Dogg, Tino Gray. The Badass, Rod Potsy Potchak.
Yeah, you.
The Potsy and Tino Show. We are back. We are live.
We're together.
What is up with this?
In the same room.
In the same room. You got crabs.
I did. From Dick's.
Crab Shack.
What do you think of this?
What do you think of this, nature boy? So, all right, folks, we are back. We've got a live show tonight. It is July 4th. We are going to do this up until we start hearing some fireworks. Then we're going to go outside to go watch some fireworks. Yes. But we got a lot to cover, so we want to just go ahead and jump right on in. What is going on with the fam?
Everybody's out of town. Nicole and Matthew are right now in New York. Haley just went down to Florida. So I'm here all by my lonesome until Saturday. Everybody comes back.
Now go ahead and tell the story about Haley going down to Florida.
I don't want to tell the story about it.
Tino didn't know.
I didn't know till like it was
till he was driving her to the airport.
No, I knew before. So her boyfriend is from Florida. So he went down to visit family because his birthday is tomorrow, July 5th. So Haley wanted to surprise him and go down there. I mean, she paid for the ticket herself, and so she went down to Florida with her boyfriend to visit her boyfriend on his birthday. Now, of course, Dad found out at the end because Dad would have been like,
as he was driving her to the airport.
Yeah. Well, I had to this morning. It was already done.
Already paid for it.
She already paid for it. I had.
She paid for it by herself.
She paid for the airplane by herself. She went Frontier, so apparently they're cheap.
Did she actually make it? Did she call you?
Yeah, she called me.
Okay. I heard a lot of times you got to like put your own luggage on the plane and everything underneath and stuff.
Well, that's what. So she just took a carry-on because they drove down. Her boyfriend's dad and the boyfriend drove down, so she eased over there and had the suitcase. So the dad hit the suitcase. So her suitcase is already down there. So she only had to take like toiletries or whatever.
Cool. All right, so Matthew and Nicole went to Washington, and now they're in New York.
Yeah, they left last Thursday. They will stay over in D.C. from Thursday night through Saturday night. They get up Sunday and drove to New York to visit her grandmother. So they had a blast. They went to all the touristy spots. Matthew wanted to go to the Spy Museum, which he wasn't too impressed with because I don't think it wasn't what he thought it was going to be, and so he's like, eh. But he had a blast.
The Spy Museum.
Yeah, he thought he knew like lasers and all this stuff, and it's like old timey spy stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that you. Yeah,
exactly. He's like, what the hell is this?
Daddy, what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't go. I knew what was going to happen. I got that phone call. I'm like, yep. So
yep.
But they're having a good time. So they'll be back. Everybody will be back Saturday night, which is awesome. And then so the next week I got. Next Wednesday, I'm playing, which is the 10th. I am playing at My Way in Holly Springs. Then Friday, I'm traveling to Hickory. Then driving back, and then I'm DJing Saturday, July 13th at Apex Doherty's, which that's the weekend of my birthday. My birthday is July 15th, so I don't think I remember anything.
He's turning 50.
Don't lie. I'm turning 46. He's jealous. He's jealous because he's already 50.
No, I'm not.
No, not.
I'm 41.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Oh, so I got to go Tuesday and Wednesday to the hospital because they're gonna. They found out I have a hyperactive thyroid, so I got to go to because I went to an endocrinologist. So
isn't that supposed to mean that you like lose weight really fast?
I think it was hypo. I think it's hyper.
Okay.
It's not. So I gotta go, and they're gonna do scans, and they're gonna give me an IV and have an iodine or whatever, so they can see.
Oh, so you're basically just gonna be like red on the inside.
Probably. I'm not looking forward to it because I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect.
It'll be all right. You seem like you're in good health.
Yeah.
At least for now, because folks, we've got our own fireworks tonight.
I don't want to do it. Peer pressure's a bitch.
We have.
I don't know if they can see that.
We have. Whoop, yep. I don't know if you can. It's Wild Turkey Honey Sting. American Honey Sting.
Tell me why it's Sting.
Because it's got ghost pepper in it.
I'm not looking forward
North Carolina ghost pepper.
I don't want to do it.
Me neither.
I'll make you do it first.
No, we're going to do it at the same time. Yeah, we're going to look at each other eye to eye, and we're going to be like,
I don't want to do it.
So,
we got to drink the whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
that's a lot.
That's one shot. One shot
of ghost pepper.
And I have, the old standby to get through it.
I got water.
You got more ice than you got water there.
Well, during the course of this, because you talk so much, that ice will melt, and I'll have water.
You'll have more water. So you said what you've got going on. I don't have anything really going on until I fly out to San Diego Comic-Con on the 17th.
What the hell? You always got something going on.
I know. I'm just working right now. That's it. Work. My assistant manager at my day job is on vacation next week. So I got like 2 days with him after this, and then he's gone from Sunday to Saturday or something.
Oh, I forgot something.
Oh, what did you forget?
So my birthday's on July 15th.
15th, yeah. That's
Sunday,
Monday.
Yeah, Sunday the 14th. I'm going to the beach. So I'll be at the beach all that week on my birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's why he's not going to remember anything.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Okay.
Well, that's great, because on the 17th I leave for San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
The 19th, while I'm at San Diego Comic-Con, I've got the Keen Spot 19th annual panel at 8:00 that night in San Diego that I will be hosting. Yeah. We've got quite a few people that I think are actually going to be on the panel. Myself, my cohort in crime from Junior High Horrors, Billy Parker. He's actually announcing a new series called The D Ward while we're there, and he's bringing his artist from that. My buddy Mario Witch will be on it. And then I think Thomas Fischbach, and who, by the way, a lot of people already know this. He's actually the brother of someone kind of internet famous. So I'll let you look it up. I don't want to sit there and just blab it all out there or anything. But and then the nicest man in comics, John Hoseko, will also be on the panel. So he does a book called Hunters of Salamastra, and Thomas does a book called Two Kinds. So
you had a celebrity-ish run in. You were telling me before.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you gotta let them know.
You know what? You're right. So when I was at Heroes Con a couple weeks ago, because it has been a while since we've done one of these. I was talking about my comic. This gentleman came up and he goes, "Tell me why I want to buy your comic." And I was like, "Well, it's the first ever all ages horror parody that it's made for adults and kids alike. And then starting with the 5th issue, it's the first ever comic to have dyslexia friendly fonts." And he's like, "Tell me more about that." So I go into the whole rigmarole of how it differentiates line weights and everything else for folks with dyslexia, so it doesn't spin the words. Even if it spins the letters around, that it's weighted differently, so you still know whether a B is a B, a D is a D, vice versa, all that stuff. And he goes, I want one of each of them because that just sounds like something that we should, that more people should be doing. And we're gonna keep going, even though we do already hear the fireworks going. I guess people have started, even though it's still light outside.
Can't really see it.
Yeah,
they always start light over here.
They do. Well, that's because the old people around end up complaining, because it's too loud at late night or whatever. Anyways, so he goes, "Well, you may have seen my brother's horror collection," and I was like, "Well, that's such an odd thing to say, that I would possibly see your brother's horror collection." And he's like, "No, my brother's kind of famous. He's a WWE referee." And I was like, "Who's your little brother, or who's your brother?" I don't know if it's little brother, older brother, what. He goes, "Charles Robinson." And of course, me being a wrestling fan, Tino, what was it that I actually said? Like, I blurted it out.
Little Nate.
and the guy, I believe his name, I want to say his name was Steven, sits there and he's like, yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. I'm like. And then he tells me the story, and you can look it up online. Charles Robinson apparently had $50,000 worth of horror merchandise stolen out of a storage unit. So if you know anything about horror memorabilia or anything, and you live in the Carolinas, it is very possible that this stuff could be surfacing. So any leads that he could get would greatly help him. But he then sits there. He goes, "Do you want to talk to him?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, yeah, do you want to talk to Charles Robinson?
Yeah.
And I'm like, absolutely. Why wouldn't I want to talk to little Nate, right? So he tries to call him and can't get him on the phone. And I'm like, oh man, it's gonna, it's such a great gesture. Thanks so much. And he's like, well, I'll come back around. Maybe I can get him on there later. And I'm like, okay, no big deal if you can't. It's just really cool that
Right.
like I signed a copy of the book, to little Nate.
Did you get them all 5?
Well, I did give them the whole set, but I signed one specifically
Gotcha.
for Charles Robinson that said little Nate,
That's awesome.
And sent it on the way. And then like 20 minutes later, he comes running back up and he's got Charles Robinson
That's so awesome.
on FaceTime. So I'm FaceTiming with Charles Robinson,
awesome.
and I'm thinking that this is like the coolest thing ever because I'm like this is so cool, because I'm sitting there, I'm like you're the best bumper in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
like because I mean he sells wrestling moves and he's not even having them happen to him,
That's so amazing.
So yeah,
you're so lucky, man. You get to meet all these people, dude.
It was really cool. I met the granddaughter of the creator of Batman too.
Bob King. You met
No. So interestingly enough, Bill Finger, the gentleman who nobody wanted to give credit to for like 70 years,
Mm-hmm.
his granddaughter was actually at Heroes Con as well, and I got to talking to her about a bunch of stuff. She actually gives out an award called the Bill Finger Award, which is for like lost entities in the in entertainment and media, so not necessarily even comic books. But
that's cool.
But yeah, she gives out an award every year. So I'm actually supposed to see if I can catch up with her when I'm in San Diego. So
nice.
So that's what's going on there. When I get back from San Diego, by the way, I will be at the Raleigh Galaxy Con, which I believe is a Thursday through Sunday convention here in Raleigh. And then after that, I will also be a guest at Greensboro Comic Con, September 15th. May have something else going on in August, but right now, I as far as I know, I've got Galaxy Con and then Greensboro Comic Con, and then we're supposed to be doing, I think, Fayetteville Comic Con in October. So
this is why we get these sporadic shows.
Yeah, because we've got a lot going on. In fact, Tino, just this week, I announced without fully announcing the crowdfunding campaign for it. That I am coming back to a series that I didn't think I would necessarily come back to right now. I thought it would take a little while before we'd actually get back to it. Immortal, my first comic book series from 2017.
I'm so excited about that.
The artist of X Liefelds, which I'm launching at San Diego, actually said to me after we were finishing up, we finally turned in all the work. We got it colored, we got it lettered, we got it edited. Everything's ready to go. I'm getting editing credit on that book, by the way, because I was like, I did all the work. So I want credit for it. So when the misspellings come in, yes, I'm the guy to blame this time. Anyways, he says to me, he's like, Rob, did you? And his name's Rob as well. He's like, Rob, did you ever think about bringing back Immortal? And I'm like, I think about it all the time. It's series that really is meant to be a long-term series,
right.
not just a one and done or anything like that. And he's like, well, I want to draw it. And I was like, well, when are we talking about? He's like, I got 2 other anthologies that I gotta finish up work on and everything else, and then after that, I want to draw it. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll start it. So
yes, start writing.
So yeah, so I wrote the first 15 pages are already done. I don't know what the format's going to be yet, but I was like, okay, I jumped right in. I'm now using my phone and Blogger and basically writing it through Blogger. I'm not posting the blogs or anything like that because I don't want anybody to read the material beforehand. But I found that when I'm sitting in front of my computer in my room, I can't write. Like I get too bogged down with Facebook or Instagram or whatever else, so I can't write. So I was like, when I feel those moments come that I just want to sit there and start writing, I'm going to pull my phone out and just type it up, and it's been working because, like I said, I got 15 pages done already. So I've got that, and then I've got another title that I haven't even announced yet that I'm working on because I finally did finish the 8th issue script for Junior High Horrors, which will be out in November. It's got a story in it called Buy Hard, which is a holiday, definitely a Christmas themed portion of the issue. Mikey goes into a toy store and the hard to find toys are being held hostage by a young worker by the name of Hans. So yeah, so
low. No.
what's that?
You said Han, so I went low. You said so, because you always say so. So it's just funny. You went Han, so I went low.
Oh, Han Solo. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, what the hell is he talking? Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yes. Yet no.
No.
Like Hans Gruber from Die Hard.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there's going to be a great scene with how the glass gets shot and everything, and there's going to be a really cool moment which explains how Carl Winslow shows up. Although it won't be Carl Winslow, it'll be another character from the series, but you'll easily get the reference. So that's all coming. That, like I said, that's scheduled for November. And X Liefeld's, like I said, comes out in just 2 weeks, which is pretty awesome. Junior High Horrors #6 comes out. Looks like it's gonna be the 31st of this month, so it'll be the last day of the month. But pretty excited about that one too. They all go to summer camp, so it's gonna be pretty funny.
Crystal Lake?
Diamond Pond.
Gotcha.
Camp Diamond Pond. Yeah. But Tino, this is a wrestling podcast.
Yes, it is.
Or video show.
And we got a lot to catch up on.
There is a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and jump right in. You watched AEW Fyter Fest.
Oh my gosh.
So real quick, favorite moment?
Favorite moment had to have been the Moxley match.
Okay.
That was all time. The whole show, it's hard to pick a favorite moment because the whole show was amazing from beginning to end. You had Sean Spears making his debut. You had, and now I remember her name before the show started. The lady wrestler, the big lady wrestler, took on the two smaller wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
That was an awesome match. All the matches were off the chain. The Christopher Daniels match, oh my God! But like I said, the match for me had to be the Moxley match because they pulled out all the stops. It was crazy. It was everything. It reminded me of ECW. I mean, they had everything from barbed wire, real barbed wire, not the little fake with the rubber caps, real barbed wire and thumbtacks. And the way to use the thumbtacks, it was unbelievable. It was crazy.
I mean, they had barbed wire boards, they had barbed wire steel chairs, they had a bucket full of thumbtacks.
Ladder, jumped off the ladder.
He jumped off the ladder through tables. So tables, ladders, chairs.
Oh my.
And for lack of a better term of it, it basically was the crucifixion of Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
There is no more Dean Ambrose. There is no. They say that the emancipation of Dean Ambrose was or of John Moxley was the Chris Jericho interview. I think this was the doors opening to what John Moxley really is. I thought it was really interesting that they went as deep into the extreme, as you said, in that match specifically. But the fact that they did it on a free pay-per-view show.
Seems like they're like, I'm not gonna say all their pay-per-views are free, but like this one was free. The next one they have coming up for the
See, I still think that you're paying for Fight for the Fallen because they're giving a portion of the proceeds to the charity.
Somebody on our group said it's free, and they had a clip. I mean, they had a screenshot of it. So
they should be able to get enough advertising where they should be able to do it for free regardless. But I found it really interesting that they went as hardcore as they did for a free event. Because normally you want the bigger gate, you want the bigger payday, you want bigger, and that's when you put in the extra effort. But I could also go ahead.
I would think too that they're still a brand new company, so I think they're still trying to get eyes on them. So I can see that why they would give these free, like bigger pay-per-views. Yeah, they're going to probably want to start to have their big four like WWE. So probably like I doubt they'll be called All In now. All In and the pay-per-views like that. They'll probably have their bumper shows throughout the year. Their 4 big shows. But some of these smaller shows, I'm not saying all of them, but I say some of these smaller shows, they should give away for free just as goodwill and keep eyes on them because they're fresh until they get out there and get more well known.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see whether or not they end up putting together a network, a year into it that they end up saying, okay, all of our content's free, and then or all of it's $10 a month or whatever, and then they roll their YouTube shows into the network, so you're paying $10 a month getting all the YouTube shows and being the elite and all that stuff with that.
I think TNA was I won't say founder of that, but you remember back in the day before TNA
$10 pay-per-views, yeah.
But they had $10. It was like, but it was like once a week, like Wednesdays. It was like Wednesday. I remember paying the $10 because then it was worth it. But they had the the $10.
I remember having one of those little cards that went in your DirecTV box.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden it would get burned out and it'd be like, oh, guess we're not watching that now. So,
but something like that, yeah. I think until they get the
So things we know. Cody Rhodes steel chair shot. I don't care what the Young Bucks say. I don't care what Tony Khan says. There's no way to gimmick a chair.
He was concussed.
That chair made such a metal sound off the side of his head, and you're saying he had a concussion. I think he had a concussion.
He definitely had 11 stitches.
Well, he got 12 staples.
12 staples. He got staples, so he had to have a. I mean, I'm saying he had to have a concussion.
Dude couldn't grab the ropes.
He was concussed.
Like they were holding his arm out, and he still couldn't reach the ropes to get himself out of the ring. Like Dean Malenko looked like he was going to cry, which was mind-boggling. The craziest spot of the night, believe it or not, for me was probably in the Moxley match when he took Janela's shoes off and dumped his feet. Like an atomic drop, but instead of putting his knee down, he just put his feet right into the thumbtacks. And it's not like this match was like as violent as a New Jack match or with a cheese grater and Abdullah the Butcher match with a fork that he'd bring down after shaving down the sides
with the barbed wire ropes and instead of the ropes.
Oh yeah, the actual death matches that would have exploding turnbuckles or whatever. Yeah, no, wasn't anything like that. But for today's day and age, I mean, it was probably, like I said, for free TV, it was easily the most violent match I'd seen in years.
I think I told you off the air, my favorite spot, that whole match was awesome. I think one of my favorite spots that made me like, what the hell's going on, is when he hit him with the dirty deeds, and when he came up, he spit the thumbtack out of his mouth. When did you get a thumbtack in your mouth? But it was just that whole, I just can't, if you guys haven't seen this match, you haven't seen this pay-per-view, I highly recommend you go back to watch it. If not for anything, like we did today, just go on YouTube and watch this Moxley match. It is well worth the 20 minutes of the match.
Totally,
it's totally worth it.
And it totally shows how different it's trying to be over what WWE currently is. And now we want to talk about that. But should we go ahead and
that's thunder? That's not.
Should we go ahead and?
All right. He's been dying to do this. We might not finish this show, and the show might finish as I projectile vomit all over his keyboard here because I don't do hot. I hate you.
He loves me.
I have to work tomorrow and I have to drive a half hour home.
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing it now, because we're probably going to talk for another half an hour at least.
I don't think I'm going to talk for half an hour if I drink this.
That's probably true.
I almost said the F word. I almost said F you, Rob. I saw a look on your face.
I hate hot stuff. Folks.
I do too. Because I choose not to eat hot stuff or drink hot stuff because I know if it's hot going in, it's gonna be hot coming out, and I'm not trying to burn up toilet paper when I'm sitting on the pot. I don't want my butthole on fire. Straight forward. God, I hate you.
This is gonna suck.
It's gonna suck. We might have to pause the show.
We may just end the show and then talk about WWE later this weekend. May you be in heaven for 30 minutes before the devil knows you're dead. 3, 2, 1. You okay? Okay.
I started choking for a while.
There is a little heat. I tried to just let it go.
I did too, but I started choking.
Oh, I can taste the pepper. Finish it.
Frick, my eyes are watering.
Already? Really?
My eyes are watering. My nose is running.
Don't put your tongue on it. Just drink it. Here, you want some beer to wash it down? All right, folks. So while Tino is trying to get himself back to level, you okay? You look okay now.
Oh shit!
Yeah, don't break the chair. It's a different chair than he's used to sitting in. So
yeah, I'm not right doing that.
So he should not break it. But so you okay?
Clear my sinuses.
All right, folks.
All right,
So WWE this week. I'm driving to work on Monday, I think it was, or no, Sunday. I think it was Sunday, and I messaged Tino out of the blue and say, Tino, WWE just signed Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff to be executive directors of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
I literally just seen it like 10 minutes before you messaged me.
And I immediately sat there and said, what the F does this mean? Because the entire wrestling world right now knows that nothing gets done on WWE TV or otherwise without Vince McMahon knowing it. Nothing gets done without his okay. Nothing gets done without his say-so. So everyone right now thinks that everything going on in the WWE is all about what Vince McMahon says okay to. We all know that Eric Bischoff hasn't been in wrestling since, 2012?
That's about right.
You know, and
Heyman's just been a face for Brock Lesnar on TV, so he hasn't really been in wrestling. I think he's been backstage. He was backstage helping Ronda Rousey with her promos, but I think that's about as far as creative that he got.
Yeah. Now, anybody that's watched WWE 365 actually saw that the Moment of Bliss moments are actually also they have a lot of Heyman influence in them. So that when Alexa's actually speaking during those moments, you're actually getting a lot from Heyman in that as well, like the inflection in the voice and how things are said. Just
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. It's pretty cool because you can definitely see her just sitting there going. And you can see
because he's the master, though, man.
Because if anyone can get you to turn on a dime, there, it's definitely him. I actually even tweeted Monday morning on my way to work. I said I would pay my entire $10 WWE Network fee for the month if we got a 3-hour program of Paul Heyman just sitting in the middle of the ring explaining how Raw sucked for the last so long.
Because he's, like I said, he's the master of the promo. If you have a Mount Rushmore of promo guys, it'd be Paul Heyman, it'd be Dusty Rhodes. I definitely have to put The Rock on there, and I've got an open space. It's either gonna. I don't know who would you put in that fourth spot.
Let's see. So when it comes to speaking roles,
Stone Cold is good, but I don't think he's a good.
No. I would probably go. Paul Heyman. I'd probably put The Rock on there just because no one could control a crowd like he could. Didn't matter if he wrote the words down on his sleeve or not. But
you got to put Dusty Rhodes on there.
I'm not as known for knowing Dusty Rhodes. So obviously growing up north, I didn't get to see as much of that. But the one I would actually add to it is Mick Foley.
Mick Foley's good. Yeah.
Because you have your Kane Dewey, you've got like the JR interviews, you've got all that kind of stuff that really
hit you, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like just right here. Like if you were to just put a infrared sensor on me, it's just hot.
That's why
right
I burped. You burp it a little bit.
I did. I don't want to burp again.
Show will be over if you burp again, folks.
No. But anyway, so I'd probably say that. But at the same time, the immediate thought I had after that was Triple H is in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Bischoff just got rehired. Instead of giving Triple H SmackDown.
But he's got all he can say grace over at NXT, I would think. I don't think you don't want to wear him out. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to be over NXT and SmackDown, and that SmackDown is going to be high pressure because they're going for Fox. So you don't want to burn him out. I mean, if I can see, so maybe give him SmackDown and then maybe give Bischoff NXT, but you don't want to do that either because that's Triple H's baby. So I can see it.
Well, you're right, but that's part of the reason why they brought Jeremy Borash in. It's part of the reason why they brought Shawn Michaels in, was so that if Triple H ever does get called up, like all of his talent seems to, that he will be ready and will have people in place to continue doing things the way they do them now. I find it interesting because, again, this all goes, Triple H gave the corporate tweet, that said, welcome back, Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff, for, can't wait to be working alongside you guys, blah, 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 this, that, the other. But everybody's sitting there going, well, Triple H just had a match with the club in Japan. And, Vince McMahon makes this announcement that went out through Sports Illustrated. So it had a lot of people wondering about it. But Eric Bischoff has been out of wrestling so long, Tino, and his last stint was not successful with TNA. So we were watching some WWE Network earlier. We were watching Stomping Ground because I hadn't watched it. We were watching Table for Three with the Riot Squad, which is just
go out of your way to watch that.
I don't know what I watched.
Just go out of your way to watch that.
There is a very funny moment where they talk about how Liv Morgan actually seems to screw everything up and yet get out of it and actually come out smelling like roses. And they talk about how she got on the wrong train from the airport to get to the next plane, and she ended up like the other two were sitting there wondering where she is. They get to the plane and she's in the back going,
yeah, they're rushing to get to the plane.
Yeah, they're like almost missing the plane, and she's on the plane like, hi, So, but otherwise, that is a very difficult episode of that show to watch. They talk over each other the whole time. They, kind of like I do to you.
Yeah.
See, I admit it though. Like you said though, who the leader is because they talk, over everybody else. But while we were watching WWE Network and Stomping Grounds, I pointed out an article that I just read that said that Vince McMahon does not know wrestling outside of WWE. So when it came time to announce who was going to be the executive directors for the shows, Paul Heyman was an easy choice because he's already showing up every week. But then after that, it was, who do we make the other guy? And it sounds like he just went, what about that Bischoff guy? What's he doing? I can fire him, so
we think back in the day when SmackDown was so good, they had Heyman was in charge. So I also think that Michael P.S. Hayes or Doc Hendricks, however you want to call him, was he in charge of the creative or right there on that creative team? They could have done something with him and creative.
Well, Michael Hayes has been like one of the lead writers, lead agents, whatever, like for so long that like at this point he probably just wants to,
or give it to a matter Jeff Hardy. Give it, what I'm saying? Give it.
No, I don't want to put them in charge of a 3-hour program.
I'll go SmackDown.
Well, okay, but it's going to probably be a 3-hour
program. They're going to get 3 hours?
And if it's not, even still, I mean, I'd put them in charge of their own segments maybe and just have someone overseeing them.
I'm trying to think of who they could have done other than Bischoff, who's still relevant, who's still in touch. Well, I had Road Dogg, and Road Dogg's like.
I mean, I joke that it should be Cornette, because when it comes to wrestling, I think Cornette would be a better choice than Eric Bischoff. And don't be surprised, folks, to see Jim Cornette's name come up here shortly in terms of someone hired by the WWE.
I said Russo.
Oh man, just talking about Russo just made that heat come back. Like, oh god, no, bro, no way, bro.
He did it before. He was the he.
Bro, I'll tell you, bro. They're gonna bring in Ed Ferrara as well because they don't have JR, so they'll bring in Oklahoma.
Okay, you just went off that way. Let's get back on this way.
So anyway, this week's episodes of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, we already said it. We think that there was a Heyman influence on Raw.
Definitely.
You could definitely kind of tell that there was from the get-go. The episode started with a match, not just a match, but a Falls Count Anywhere match that ended with Corey Graves yelling, "Holy shit!" Very very Joey Styles-esque, if you will.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and
holy shit!
Yeah. And then on top of that, we also got other odd moments like Baron Corbin almost sexually harassing the female interviewer. They had there was a bunch of that kind of stuff where there was some awkward moments to it. The Street Profits showed up and they were kind of cool. Paul Heyman only showed up in one backstage segment to basically put the Street Profits over a little bit. Yeah, I think, but interestingly, you had most of the matches made sense.
Yes.
Most of the outcomes made sense.
Yes.
The only one that I thought was a little bit odd was the Carmella versus what's her name, Nikki Cross. After she had immediately beaten Alexa Bliss, she then went in and lost to Nikki Cross. And otherwise, though, the show really seemed to come off well.
It was smooth.
They kept Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans to very small segments.
Yes.
I mean, Lacey Evans did have a match against Natalya, but after that match, it was pretty much they were done. The Baron Corbin thing was like just from a backstage segment almost. So there really wasn't a lot with him, which I thought was great.
Awesome.
We weren't overfed bad talent, but we did get the Kanellises to show up, and a very awkward. She called her husband her bitch.
And she called
Seth Rollins Becky's bitch.
Yeah.
Which was just, I guess the way that he was saved at Stomping Grounds, it's okay to say that kind of thing.
He is the man's man.
But it was weird because we heard the word bitch multiple times.
Shit.
We heard shit. We heard, I mean, like it was like one of these episodes, like I had to look at them and go, you used up our one F-bomb, because it almost seemed like this PG show was going to do that this Monday night. But I also felt that it helped lead to Extreme Rules a little bit better, but it gave them more of an edge that definitely had Heyman written all over it.
And we discussed this, that they need it. I understand that they're trying to go to this PG era for sponsors, but I have a feeling that AEW, they may not go over the top, but WWE can't be watered down. I'm not saying we need to say shit every episode or bitch every episode, but you got to be a little more spicy, just a little bit, not that spicy.
And then we got SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And on SmackDown, we got another one of those moments. We got Kofi Kingston
One of the best lines.
saying Joe's too big to be playing hide and seek.
Actually, he said your ass is too big to be playing hide and seek. I was texting Rob. He just said this.
And what's funny is I had just watched it like 20 minutes before Tino's texting me. And
Oh my God.
So but it was interesting because we got a little more of that heat and that splendor there. We got more of that stuff going on. We got more stories actually being driven again.
We got the finger.
We got Kofi Kingston giving Joe the finger, which we haven't seen since the Attitude Era. Every time that Stone Cold would do it, they'd basically be like this for now, So, and then of course we got my favorite moment of the night, which was, my favorite moment of the night was the beginning when you think Kevin Owens is going to be the heel host of the Kevin Owens show. Notice Sami Zayn nowhere to be seen this week. And he's got Drew McIntyre and Shane McMahon on.
And he's reading off cards.
And he's reading off his cue cards like he always does. And of course and your match against Roman Reigns and The Undertaker. And of course he's just going through the same three cards or whatever. And I love how he sits there and says, and Shane finally looks at him and goes, why don't you do your job and just answer or ask the questions that are actually written on the cards? And he's like, okay, well, I got another one here that says, when you came back after a 7-year hiatus and you lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania and Hell in a Cell, blah, blah, blah. And then, Drew got up in his face. Then all of a sudden Dolph Ziggler comes down. Dolph's sitting there doing his whole thing. But
before all that, they were like, they were trying to be all big and bad. Like they weren't scared of The Undertaker. And
Kevin Owens shows the video. Yes, that was actually my favorite part of this, was he shows the video package of them jumping out of the ring, and he's like, you hear that gong, and suddenly you're in the fourth row, and you're like, how did we get here? and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm not really scared of The Undertaker, and that's when Shane kind of snapped on him. And this was like, in a one night moment, we got Kevin Owens completely going heel to babyface in one fell swoop. And then at the end of the night, where you had the match between Heavy Machinery and Dolph and Kevin Owens, you had Kevin basically take the fall. 1, 2, 3 loses the match. Dolph comes into the ring, wants to get in Kevin's face, and then Owens sits there and drops him with a stunner. And then he just starts yelling, "This is my show.
Yeah.
This is my show. This is my show." And immediately, because he's using the stunner again. Now, granted, he did use it when Kofi, or not Kofi, but the New Day lost to him and Sami Zayn. But this, we know that move is to be used by a babyface. And here it was used by the babyface, and it, to me, was the way to cement that he's going to have a program with Dolph, and they're going to be at Extreme Rules, and he's going to be babyface after that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden Sami Zayn comes down and starts pushing Kevin Owens because he's sitting there asking, why are you pandering to this crowd when I've been saying how bad this crowd is for, since WrestleMania? Although even Sami at the pay-per-view, if you remember correctly, when he was coming down to the ring, was doing more of the dancing, living it up, doing that kind of stuff.
But I don't think it was the face Sami, because he still does that as the heel Sami.
He does, but he does it until he stops, and then he laughs at you for it, for like buying into it. But he didn't really do that this time.
Yeah.
And then Kevin even gave him a little peck on the top of his head when they were walking down to the ring. But then, like I said, we haven't seen Sami, so we don't know how Sami feels. So are we going to get we're going to get something between them? I'm
sure we have to.
And those two are going to feud the rest of their careers, very similar to, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, or The Rock and Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Or Roman and everybody. Roman and the fans.
Can we talk about all the puppet sightings?
Yeah, we can.
I'm so pissed off. I was so looking forward to this new Bray Wyatt. I love the Fun House. When is he going to come to the show? His puppets have made it. Where the hell is Bray?
Well, and you only notice that the puppets have made it if you're very keen-eyed looking for the puppets. Like, if you're not looking for the puppets, you don't see them. Like Mercy the Buzzard was just sitting in the back, like doing whatever. And
then the one time the witch she's kind of leaning around the corner like,
yeah, and I think they've all been seen now. But yeah, we've not had Bray on TV. I was really hoping he was going to be the special referee, because if he had been the special referee, we could have had a moment where he's basically like, now Baron, that's not a good way to do it. And then, gets hit into the turnbuckle or whatever, puts his hands over his face, and when he comes back up, he'd have that mask on, and suddenly, he'd be super heel. I think that'd be kind of cool.
He'd have to change the whole outfit, though.
I don't think so.
You think just the Mr. Rogers sweater and the mask?
Oh, yeah. I'd buy it.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, we've all been wondering, are we going to see him in the ring, or is this just going to be something where all of a sudden he becomes the next Brother Love, and he's having interviews with people and not ever wrestling?
Well, they say he's coming to the ring, but I'm just when and how and against who. That's what I was hoping. So if you've been watching SmackDown, which I don't think they'll put on SmackDown, but they may. If you've been watching SmackDown, I don't know what in the hell they're doing with Aleister Black, but he's got this whole thing. Will somebody please fight me?
Someone knock on the door.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for Bray Wyatt to make his entrance.
It's like Three's Company. It's like,
come on, knock on my door.
Come on, knock on my door.
We'll be waiting for you.
We'll be wrestling with you.
So that'd be perfect if that was Bray Wyatt.
We'll have a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
But then would he be? Would he be a face? He'd have to be a face.
Right?
Yeah, with that character.
With that mask, there's no way.
So that probably, unless, because I think right now they're trying to make Aleister a heel.
That's okay. They're on opposite shows, it seems. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying it'd be perfect for the person who comes to pick a fight with him to be Bray Wyatt.
Well, the rumor was that it was going to be Cesaro.
I heard it was going to be Sammy.
I
don't see Sammy.
No, because Sammy's a heel. So if
Cesaro's a heel.
Is he though? Right now, he's nowhere.
Getting booed.
he's getting booed, but that's until he starts swinging people again. Because remember, the night that he swung Elias, he got probably the biggest cheer of the night. People were like, "Where's my Cesaro section sign?" You know, like
we've been waiting, but that's another thing though. People have been waiting so long for them to just make him face. Do you think if they make him face, it'll be the big that they think, or you think like people will be like, "Meh."
I think that as soon as they realize what kind of diamond they actually have with Cesaro, the sky's the limit.
He's pound for pound one of the most powerful. I mean, he's up there with Cena.
But we know Paul Heyman likes him.
Yes.
You know, he was supposed to be a Heyman guy, and then all of a sudden one night he's like, "I got this, Paul." And then Paul walked off, and that was the end of him being a Paul Heyman guy, and it never happened again. But we know that Paul's a fan of his. So if he's on Raw, I can't see him not being upper tier of the show. But then on top of that, dude speaks 5 languages. Like, you want a guy that you can send on media tours across the world with a championship belt over his shoulder. He's the guy.
I totally agree with that. Anywhere you send them, I guess in the 5 country or something.
I mean, he could, knowing him, he could probably learn 6 more languages just so that he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't need a Zeb Coulter. He doesn't need a Paul Heyman. He needs someone behind him that sits there and creatively puts him into great matches. Like him versus Ricochet in the main event of Raw a couple weeks ago. Excellent.
So you say make him face. How about you make him heel to give him a heater?
Oh, well, that's fine. That's totally fine. You know what? Put him up against. I don't know.
Don't give somebody with him like a heater. Wow.
Oh no Leo Rushes or any garbage like that shit. I'm about tired of that stuff.
Well, Leo Rush is gone anyway. So.
Is he actually gone? He's gone. Hey, so you were talking about a rumor that I think we ought to air on the network here. There's one boss who might be coming back.
Sasha Banks is supposedly has re-signed. They
re-signed or just said actually, she'll come back to work.
No, they signed her to a multi-year contract. She agreed to re-sign. They kissed and made up. I don't know what the stipulations of the deal is, but supposedly she has re-signed a multi-year contract. WWE.
Pardon my.
I'm sure that's going to bump her right back up into one of the women title picture.
Where she will remain forever like Charlotte Flair, and we'll sit there and get bored of her too.
Don't know.
Will she then cry and scream on the floor of a locker room at some point?
I just don't understand. I mean, and we touched on this before in another episode.
Multiple.
Bailey was right there with her.
Yeah, but I think that them giving Bailey that championship was their way of saying, see how well we can take care of people that work with us. And she hasn't done anything special with the title. Yeah. She's beaten Alexa Bliss, which sure, I mean she's a 5-time champion, but it was like her first match back. And now like the talent that they're utilizing at that level, I mean Charlotte hasn't been seen in weeks. Becky versus Lacey on one program, so you've got Becky versus a nobody. And then you've got Bailey going up against Alexa. So it's kind of like it's a holding pattern. They haven't even been playing with the women's championship, tag team championships. Like Peyton and Billie Kay are just sitting there going,
well, no, they're going to go against who's Paige? Paige's team.
Oh, the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get
the Kabukis.
Because right now everybody's saying that Peyton and the Iconics having the belt, they've worked so hard for this women's division. They're saying that the Iconics are more of a comedy duo act.
Sure.
So they're not really doing anything for the belts, which I disagree with. I think that the Iconics they're entertaining.
I think they're a legit tag team.
Yes.
I think that they have worked together for so long as a tag team that they actually are a legit tag team. I think that we saw it earlier when we were watching the network stuff. We were watching that, the Riot Squad is technically a kind of like a New Day. They're a 3-person tag team. Now granted, I don't know what's going on with Sarah Logan, but I know Ruby Riot's out with an injury, and because of that, Liv Morgan's sitting at home, basically wondering when's it going to be SmackDown Liv. When's it going to be 205 Liv?
And chewing with her mouth open and talking with food in her mouth.
As beautiful as Liv Morgan is,
no table manners.
She definitely has the table manners of a 6-year-old child. Trying to finish her breakfast really fast while her parents are asking her questions. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She the whole time. And again, like Tino's sitting there going, man, I wonder if she gets drug tested all the time. We love you, Liv. We really do.
We do.
We do.
We talk shit.
I really wish you were actually on the programming because you're a better Carmella.
I honestly think Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss would make an awesome tag team.
They would, but they'd also make better adversaries. Like Liv's got the full pink hair, but she could be blonde again. Alexa's got the pink in her hair, but they've got 2 different movesets. They've got 2 different attitudes.
I think they'd make a great tag team.
They might, but I don't know. I'm not done seeing Alexa Bliss as a women's champion. However, I wouldn't kick it off my TV if I was watching the 2 of them in a tag team match together with matching outfits that look like Harley Quinn.
Easy.
Yeah. So, yes, I wouldn't kick it off easily. Anyways,
the views expressed on the Potsy and Tino show aren't always Tino's. They're mostly Potsy's.
I doubt it. Remember, you're the racist. He didn't spit out the alcohol. It's the water.
It almost went all over this shit. Shane would have been pissed.
All right. So, you got anything else?
I don't think. What else did we talk? We watched we did AEW. We did the rumors we heard. We did the Heyman. We did.
Oh, I let you watch the Jon Moxley interview with his young lion.
You go.
So Jon Moxley shows up in New Japan. Shows up after beats Juice Robinson in his first match there. And
who cut his hair?
Who cut his hair? Thank goodness, because that was nappy.
I didn't remember who was that. He's like, that's Juice Robinson. I'm like, what? And then he was like, and whoever his old character was, who was it?
CJ Parker.
CJ Parker's dead. I'm like, aren't you CJ Parker, mother?
Did you stop that?
I stopped it.
I did. Anyways, yeah. So CJ Parker comes out. CJ Parker.
See, there you go.
Yeah, because you said it. Juice Robinson comes out. And of course he cuts this great promo where like he doesn't even know where he's going with the promo. Like it obviously wasn't a Juice promo, and he's like, he's basically saying, I got my ass kicked, blah blah blah. I got bit like right here, like he bit me, and they drop some F-bombs, does all that, and like he goes off, and then you have Jon Moxley come out, and Moxley sits there and he thanks Juice for the opportunity, thanks New Japan for the opportunity, says thanks for letting me cut loose, blah blah blah. That was all the first one, and then of course he beats one of the young lions, and he comes out to the interview and he picks up the young lion, and he's like, I got to give it to this kid. He actually did everything he said he's going to do. He really showed me something. So this is going to be my young lion. I'm going to take him. I'm going to train him up. He's going to pick me up from the gym. He's going to drive me right. You can drive, right? And of course he's on the floor at this point. And he's like, yeah, you can drive. He's going to drive me around, blah, blah, blah. Does all this. And he's like, but I want in the G1. And then you see him like pick the young lion up and he's like, come on, you're with me. And he goes to walk him off. And he sets him back down, and he comes back, and he goes, if you can't understand me, I'm saying I want the G1. And then he turns back around, and he goes, are you on the floor again?
He was saying something like, I'm drinking. He's like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's like Masaki or something.
That was funny.
Yeah, much sake. So yeah, so that was a great little moment. Tino, I don't know the next time we're going to get to do this. Hopefully sometime next week.
Yeah, because I don't know what is your schedule looking like. I know we discussed the schedule, so
I mean,
hopefully we'll just text each other like, "Well, you want to record tonight? I got this, I got that." So we're trying, folks.
Yeah, after the San Diego stuff and the Raleigh Galaxy Con, it should slow down a little bit. Well, your birthday, not my birthday.
Yeah.
Like mine's not for another 5 months, so we're good there. I don't have to worry about that. You'll be a lot older than me for that long. So 50, folks. He's turning
46.
50.
I swear I'm gonna
swear I'll make you drink more of this.
Your donut hole with the chocolate filling.
So I'll leave you with this question, folks, and you can leave your answers on the Potsy and Tino Facebook page. Tino wants to know why Xavier Woods wears those curved up boots.
The Iron Sheik boots.
The Iron Sheik boots. And I said it's because he's a jester, and Tino looked at me and said the Iron Sheik was a jester, and no. So if you have a creative answer for why the boots of Xavier Woods have those weird curl up, let's go ahead and hear it on the Potsy and Tino Facebook page. Tino,
and the next time maybe we'll come up with some of the answers if they're funny.
If you guys actually do it,
yeah,
we will bring the answers to the show next
and we'll
time.
Give you shout outs too.
Absolutely. Yes. Always a shout out.
All right. So until next time, we don't know when, folks. We want to thank you for once again tuning in. And it's very rare that we get to do this together. So this has been awesome.
On the high definition
camera. And you tried to make my chest go on fire, my butthole too.
Well, the butthole will be later.
You check him out on the Twitter machine at PodChat. I will be Hootie Fan 91. Potsy and Tino. You can check us out on Facebook as well as the Potsy and Tino Show. He's on Instagram. Every other social media outlet that you can think of, he's on it. I am too. He's going to be what are you at? Podcheck on your Instagrams too.
At Rob Podcheck on Instagram. At Rob Podcheck on my own Facebook page for the comics. At Podcheck on Twitter.
Yeah,
we already said that. You can also follow at Immortal the Comic on both Facebook and Twitter. Or not Twitter, but Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow at Junior High Horrors on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, it's way more than I do.
I do.
But you can follow me on Facebook. My music is Tino R. Gray. The band, if you guys ever want to come out and check out a show, we're Tino Gray and the Social Casualties on Facebook. As always, we want to say thank you to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. You get it 99 cents on iTunes. And as always, you can hear Ric Flair even over all the fireworks. And he, as always, is saying, woo! I know what he's about to do. Don't be an ass. Don't be an ass.
I'm not gonna do anything bad. I'm just gonna go ahead and put our
You always see he treats me like it's the damn Emmys. I'm still in the middle of talking, and he starts playing the damn music, trying to cue me out. And it pisses me out, just like he's doing now. He is an asshole, and it drives me crazy. And I hate this ginger. I hate him. He's so violated. Trying to get me drunk now. He's kissing on me. Until folks, have a fun and safe, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
We'll see you later, folks. Good night.
Woo! 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 How about this, Shimani?
What is funny?
Woo! To be the man,
you gotta beat the man.
The man
and his baby arm. Woo! Told you.